to Tempest Rising, a brand new real-time strategy game which helps kill the itch of what everyone is after, which is basically a new Command and Conquer. But this is it, basically, with a twist. Unlike EA with the IP, which is now focusing on the legacy of Command and Conquer, we're releasing terrible mobile games. Yeah, I'm not even going to touch it, I'm not going to go there, it's dead. I mean, there was I think an interview someone did with one of the writers of Command and Conquer. I think it was behind Kane, and he was unaware that 4 existed. He was aware that the Command and Conquer saga ended with 3, like Kane's Wrath. So that's saying something. The fact that even he doesn't know, the guy who helped make Command and Conquer doesn't know the fact that his name but got bought out has obviously been tarnished to absolute madness. But fear not, there's been a new wave of developers over the recent years making real-time strategy games, which is great to see, because as I said, there's been so many in works and coming out. Like I said, Tempest Rising has been in development for years and it's out. We've got Broken Arrow, which of now this review comes out, Broken Arrow just came out. We have got Global Conflagration, and there's 3 or 4 others which I can't remember the names of, but there's not Forged Alliance. There's something about that name. I should have wrote my name down. I'm just freeballing that bit, but I think there's like 5 other strategy games which are in development, were due to come out, and obviously whatnot. So there's still plenty of brand new strategy games coming, which is amazing. I mean, what is hilarious about that is I've seen articles over the years saying that people aren't interested in the strategy games as they're too long in the game, basically. Well, again, that's a lot of nonsense, because everyone's been craving Command and Conquer games since, people basically, I think people really want another Command and Conquer 2, like a Red Alert 2 kind of thing. So with all due, I have terrible gas, I do apologise. So back to Tempest Rising. Now, I was originally meant to go to this video, I think last month, but I've moved house, and then I've done a lot of personal stuff's gone on. I've worked 2 festivals, like photographed 2 festivals, so a lot of my time has been like, I've not a lot of time until now. So there has been a lot of updates with Tempest Rising, which is great, and other stuff. So by the time this review comes out now, obviously it's like a month after I was going to do it, because I've completed the game and all that stuff. So with that in mind, like I said, I have done some videos a couple of years ago when they initially get the first demo, which was the first mission for both factions, which I know they did do, I think 2 more demos or something like that out recently, I think probably 5-6 months ago. But I didn't play it because I don't want to spoil it to myself. I avoided watching content, avoid reading about it, avoiding playing the game, because I didn't want to spoil it, because this came so close to the game coming out, and I didn't want to. Yeah, I said spoil myself. I mean, I know there's been some more trailers and stuff like that, but myself, I've played the demo. I know what it's like. Let's leave it at that. And I said I've been watching this in development for years, and it's basically in a fever dream. I said the game looks so beautiful. The soundtrack is phenomenal. I said incredible, but it's phenomenal. Obviously, you got Frank Capalci. If I said his name wrong, I'm terrible at names, but he's one of 4 composers. But obviously, with his name in it alone, it's enough to make the Command and Conquer nerds drool, because obviously Capalci was one of the main guys who did the original, as on a few other games. So yeah, like I said, the gameplay is I love the gameplay. So again, this is going to be a long bloody review, so I'm going to dive into each segment and probably random orders. So I'm talking about the story and all that. So to put things into perspective, I paid full price for this game. I got the managed to get the pre-order. Luckily, I managed to got the pre-order. And that's how confident I was in this game, because how much faith I've got in it. Because the last time I paid full price for a game was actually 5 years ago, when that Command and Conquer Remaster came out. and I paid full price for that to support developers. It's probably before that I probably have not paid for a game full price for years. I'm not even joking. I myself I tend to not pay for games brand new, but like I said, I will pour my money into this game because again, I got, obviously with the pre-order perk, obviously you get the soundtrack, which is again, I can listen to the soundtrack anywhere now, and obviously you get a high-res digital book. I mean, in theory, I hope they actually publish it to make a proper book. So I want to buy the book as a hardback, because like I said, I've got it as a PDF. You have it as a big PDF, but it's beautiful. It has all the details about each faction, pros and cons, along with a lot of concept art. And obviously the game has a couple extra skins for some units, and there's been obviously been an update where they released some more content for it. It's only a couple of skins, but again, I don't mind paying, I think it's like an extra, I don't know, what, £8-9 for the pre-order stuff. But again, I don't mind giving the money to developers because again, I have faith. So with this review, I won't go mega hard, like mega detailed into the story. I'll do a kind of nutshell it, purely because I don't really want to it's gonna be spoilers regardless anyway when I do this, but I don't want to dive in so much. I want you guys to enjoy the game and play the game itself. I mean, obviously I've done like Saints Row or any games that I finish. Obviously I've done obviously gameplay, story, whatever the heck it is, walkthroughs, and that's kind of different because I can talk into it. But yeah, I don't want to go mega deep. I'll kind of skim over a bit, just so you have an idea basically what's going on. Because again, just like the Command & Conquer timeline, I think the Supreme Commander timeline, I think that's a bit chaotic as well. It gets hectic by the end of both campaigns. And when you complete one campaign and go to the next, other stuff starts to make sense, because both campaigns kind of go into each other, which I like. So obviously that you'll do something for one, like for one like GDF for that, and then you'll do something for Dynasty, and it'll cross paths, and it'll go, oh shit. So I like it. Both stories kind of they mangle in well with each other, and that's what I like. Not like they'll dive all in different sections. They'll go, here we go. Now I will say this: both campaigns are 10 missions. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but this isn't developed by a AAA studio. It's developed by a small development team that luckily got took on by a couple of other publishers. And like I said, the game is well polished. There's a few bugs which they have been fixing with, I think there's been 2 or 3 patches since the game came out. I was supposed to do this when this game came out, but obviously I've not done it, so I'm trying to remember. But there have been patches that fix a lot of some bugs. But apart from that, I said every map is highly detailed. The soundtrack again is incredible, and I said the gameplay is poof. And again, it's gonna be spoilers, so if you don't hear any spoilers, please don't worry now until you complete the game. Otherwise, now I'm gonna be talking about the summary. Now for both the campaigns, there's a huge teaser on what's gonna happen next. So I honestly thought there's gonna be more. There's gonna be some secret missions, that's not on the game. But I'm hopeful that they're gonna release more like DLC packs for missions rather than try and make Tempest Rising 2. Because like I said, if their game has stars to go the DLC route, I'm happy with that. I'll support the game, because to us, I don't think it needs a Tempest Rising 2. I think if they're able for the story or whatever, they'll just add expansion packs, like obviously again like Command & Conquer or whatnot. They'll add some or like Company Heroes, where they have expansion packs for a game. So instead of having like 5 different variants, it's a game but like loads of DLC packs. So again, I have a big bloody essay thing for this thing, so so yeah, so basically the, missions intertwine. So obviously you'll work on missions before mission. I can tell I'm rusty as hell doing this thing. But like I said, the game ends, as I said, where you want more instantly. You want to go back and carry on and fight. You want to know what's going on. So again, there's two factions. With the DDF factions, about being freedom and democracy, put things right. Because spoiler alert, there's a big fucking super alien cult thing. I had the name. I forgot to put it down. I'll put it down later on the review on the twit. And then you have Tempest Rising, the Tempest Dynasty, not Tempest. Tempest is what the resource red thing is. I wrote that wrong. You know, I need to find that. Yeah, so you have the Dynasty, which turns into an episode of EastEnders with a lot of like plot twists and drama, which makes you go, what the hell? What the hell is basically going on? Because again, aliens and there's a lot of espionage and backstabbing and crap like that. So yeah. So moving on to the story, to move on the story, basically it's the Cuban War missile crisis. It's in the 90s. The Cold War escalates, and the whole world gets fucking nuked. So with some time passes, and the fallout obviously drops, and then this red stuff called Tempest, like naturist vine, weed thing, whatever the hell it is, starts growing onto everything. Now obviously with the Carolina Chronicles series, Tiberium comes from space and grows and destroys, which you find you can harvest. And obviously Tempest Rising is Tempest, you can harvest this, whatever this resource is, basically you can harvest it. You know, again, there's a joke there somewhere, it's shit, but hey ho. So with this in mind, we know very little about the war. Basically, there's, I know there's a kind of a nutshell backstory, but you don't know really the full scale. But all you know is you're being brought into right in the middle of what's going on, because there's a big ass war in Europe. GDF is the Global Defense Force, which is heavily involved in technology, whereas the Dynasty is formed with more guerrilla tactics, specialised in fire, because flame tanks and flamethrowers are top tier. And those who know me, I fucking love flame tanks and flamethrowers, as I've done a lot of videos, a lot of games, messing about with them. So I started the campaign with the Dynasty because flamethrowers, yeah. And to be honest, there isn't much of a spoiler alert when you choose a mission, because so there's sorry, I said that wrong. So there's not so when you choose either or at the start, you know, so you know what's going on. There's not much of a spoiler between them, so you can choose either or, because obviously as you carry on through the story, everything progresses as I said, obviously, and then things tie around. So basically with the Dynasty, you're trying to capture Europe and destroy DDF, because obviously you're on a war path. You basically jam revenge. You truly believe the DDF is the reason. The people for the war, that's them. You take them out, and the Dynasty is on the quest to find the Tempest's true power, and the story goes on to find out what the DDF know all along. Because obviously DDF is technology based, so you go to the Dynasty and try and figure out, okay, what the hell are these guys on about? I'm still chatting absolute nonsense, I think. So now the story does turn to episode of EastEnders, because suddenly it goes from the guy. I should put the name down, but again, I like that guy. This guy, you know. And then a lot of drama kicks off, and then there's some old git basically comes out of nowhere, and he gives you orders, and he says there's a lot of espionage, backstabbing in the corner faction, and you need to basically do missions for the greater good for the Dynasty. And basically you're given on a wild quest to go and find a vault, which this old overseer believes this has the key of the power of what the future for the Dynasty is. And GDF forces GDF basically know something about it, so you are there just to basically go knock them the fuck out and go, here you go. So yeah, the long story short, the goal is to help the old man to wipe out the dynasty because he's paranoid, everyone's a backstabbing son of a bitch. You capture his son, which is the leader that gives you orders. War drama, yada yada yada. You basically find out there's a temple on the ground, and the only way to get to it and activate it is to nuke it. And I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. It's seriously, the guy's like, we need to release them. Anyway, you nuke it, things go boom, you trigger an event, brand new faction, they look like gods, very powerful foes with the old man. It's so happy that these new gods basically arrived out of nowhere, but then things go to shit, and realizes that, oh my god, they are invincible, basically, how strong they are, because they, they're taking everything out. So his fingers, so this old geezer's like, I want him to destroy Dynasty's HQ, because it'll take everyone out he knows is backstabbing and pissing him off, so he can start a new life, leading the goal to basically starting a new era of the dynasty with pure people that aren't backstabbing pricks. So before that can happen, you need to take one of the main temples to capture it, so you can understand who these guys are, and that's really where the story ends. Basically, you capture this temple, and it has a gem, and the aliens basically die on a self-destruct path. So basically, as the story goes, the Tempest are controlled by these temples, and these temples have this gem thing, which is linked into the temple. You remove that, everything goes boom. So, and with that, I really hope there's more missions in the future, carries on, and I hope there's a DLC pack that we can be the aliens, because again, there's no faction for these alien guys. I have the name, it's down in my script. No, they're called the Yeti. There you go. I just got something. But yeah, the GDF have called them the Yeti, but I played Dynasty first, so I didn't know that they had that. So with that, it's now the GDF side of the story, and their main goal is for peace, democracy, and to ensure the Tempest doesn't get used used for abuse, because they know it's got power and keep it out of enemy hands, which is based in the dynasty. And there's essentially a war across Europe, in some bits in Iceland and in the Middle East. But what is surprising to me is there's nothing in America, and I don't think there's anything in Asia as well. Obviously Australia doesn't exist for some reason, but there is a skirmish map that you can do battles on in America. So is that in teaser the show, oh yeah, this the map name's in America. So, but there's no mention of it. So yeah, the main goal is basically wipe out a dynasty, keep the world safe from this faction. And unlike obviously the dynasty, which have obviously not a lot of tech, they're old school technology, but now GDF is high tech, like it has drones, lasers, and a unit tank thing which has come closest to what I've wanted ever since State of War, which is a double-barreled artillery tank. Though this is the tank, a general tank which is double barrel, which can drive whatever, but you can actually make it stationary and form into an artillery unit. And there's also a turret as well, which again is like an artillery, but there's a mobile basic artillery unit which it's called the trench bucket. It's an old-fashioned name, but it does the job. But it's a dual-wielded artillery unit when it's stationary, which I'm just... Yeah. What's even a bigger winner is the fact that there's a Scouser that does the voice line for the Queller gunship. I laughed and I was so fucking happy with that. Like, oh my god, I can't believe there's a Scouser. If I'm wrong completely, please let me know. But I'm 99% sure that's a Scouse accent. As someone who's Scout will have my family being Scouts. It's hilarious. And there's also an Australian infantry voice guy, which is like a commando. It's like a commando unit. It's not as overpowered, but yeah, he's Australian. It reminds me of like someone from Finding Nemo. I think it's a fish. So that's I laughed. It was hilarious, but I love him. So again, like I said, as you carry on through the stories, the missions will look some missions will look similar, or the area they've been. Like, oh, I know this area, but again, different perspective and different, like obviously different factions. Again, it makes sense. So as you're playing through the DDF, again, it's less dramery, but you meet basically meet the council, which are like a hidden, spooky, fucking yeah, it's just like the higher tellers basically, and they start to overrule what the colonel tells you what to do, and it's a nightmare because there's missions where you are needed. Like literally, you finish a mission, and you're like, okay, colonel, we're gonna need to do this and do that. But then the council overrules say, oh, we know you have good talents. You want to override, and you want to do some shit for us, basically. And again, it does add a mystery to the GDF side of things because you want to who's calling the shots exactly. Because unlike the Dynasty, where they don't really care too much. Obviously, I know you got the dad and the son, but no one really gives a shit. But the GDF have more structure, of more obedience, order, structure. There's another word for it, I can't forget it, but basically there's a lot more red tape for them to do, rather than doing stuff like you get bollocked. Basically he's trying to do his own thing, and the colonel to take, let's do this, and they're like, nope, you're doing what we say. Very political. So again, it should get serious later on in the game when you discover the Veti temple and you require time to defend it. And it's the same time when you bump to the Dynasty where we escort the nuke to the temple site. Now, unlike obviously when they escort and destroy a nuke, you have been told we've got the intel for this temple. It's like a temple thing, whatever it is, that has information. But basically, the Dynasty are coming in everywhere, so you've been told to evac the scientists out of the area to the evac zone, which you bump into the nukes. But obviously, we don't do anything. The mission's passed, and obviously the council are pissed off we installed the nuke. And obviously, there's basically a big bitch to the colonel saying, "Look, we had to evacuate because we were fucked. We hadn't, But we didn't know what would happen next. Obviously, the nuke gets triggered, obviously in the Dynasty campaign, and then it basically wipes the fuck out of everything. And obviously the colonel and the council having a meeting about, oh, what's going on now, bitching about it, and then boom, you get the red alert sign, you've got to defend and evacuate, because obviously what the Yeti are taking everything out. Now, as it goes though, I think through the campaigns, apparently it's not official, but I'm sure that there's some Dynasty work together with the GDF. But I think that's a theory, but I don't know what it is, because I'm pretty sure in some of the missions you come across the Dynasty and you take them out because they're still hostile. But I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if there's a law that there is faction that works sides. Further on the missions, the Veti leader basically mocks us saying surrender now and die basically quickly, because the Yeti can spawn out of nowhere. Basically they can spawn bases, they can spawn units, everything quick. Yeah. So we're obviously got scientists. We're trying to figure out a weakness. What is the weakness? How can we take these guys out? Because we can kill them. They're just bastards to take out. So we've figured out there's a main temple, another temple that is with that the Yeti are linked in with the Tempest, with all like it's some weird shit. So they're all linked in. So this temple's basically, again, I'm guessing it controls a large area of the Yeti, the spaghetti, which again is similar to the aliens in Crown Conquer 3, where obviously you have these fucking big towers. In Italy we're gonna take out these fucking tower things. You take them out, and obviously then the aliens start dying. Well, this is the same thing. So basically, you need to find it. They said, oh, if we attach a modification to a nuke, I can't remember the full details. Like I said, I've done a campaign about a month, so jogging off memory. Yeah, you need to modify a nuke to dump into that thing, which will take everything out. And freedom isn't free for folk like you and me, because nukes. And basically, yeah, you capture a Dynasty factory like area which has a nuke. You gotta defend it. Everything blows up. Happy ending. It has the same cutscene right at the end of the game where after the Veti die. So the question now is, what ending is canon? Like, what timeline? I know it's a timeline, but what faction is the right one? Is it DDF? Is it Dynasty? Or is it, again, are they working side by side with on both? Because like I said, you've got one where the Dynasty have captured But again, it could be they might have captured it as well, but obviously we've destroyed it, so it could be a same time thing. We don't know. But again, it feels like a Command and Conquer one because how many times they have is unreal. But I guess we have to wait and see what happens next with the game, with hopefully DLC or content coming out. Tell the story as quick as I can because I don't want to. There's no point really dwell into it. Again, I did enjoy the story; it was great. So now I still want to onto bits and bobs I like and I don't like. But again, I'm trying to focus on when the game came straight out before patches. I know there's been patches, so there's some I might have mentioned anymore now. But they have fixed a lot of bugs. And there has been a big DLC, like a bit, I'd say all this DLC, but there's been a big patch where they've fixed a lot more bugs, they've added more maps, and they've now with each update they also adjust the units, because obviously they have feedback from people, and obviously some units are overpowered or underpowered, so they will adjust health and damages. And they've added the unit cap. Now the unit cap is 200, but now you can choose 500 per army, which again, that's a big fucking difference. I mean, because I've had it with matches where I'm at 200 and I run out of units, because again, like I know in console version with Command & Conquer, there's a unit cap. With Ruse, there's a unit cap on console, and I know with Company Heroes on PC, that's a unit cap, so you got to choose wisely. So I get why they're doing it, but like huge, but you get some more once and 2v2s and stuff like that. And I've actually been trying to look into how the AI handle stuff, and I gotta say it's pretty good. They are I play on hard and they keep you on edge, especially if you do like 1v1s or 2v3s or whatever. Not 2v2s, 1v3s, 1v yeah. Because I'm used to playing brutal AI in Command & Conquer, and obviously that's hard. But the hard AI in Tempest Rising keeps you on edge. Now I know there's no option to change the behavior in the eye, like see Steamroller, Gorilla, and Axel Turtle and stuff like that. But I say it's overall, I think they're balanced. They have a mix of like the 5 different personalities. Also, I think to note, tanks aren't overkill, so you have to ensure you have obviously troops, tanks, and obviously some air support to balance things out. Because again, there's a balance there. The tanks aren't they're powerful, but they're not over powerful, if that makes sense. I love it, the fact that the engineers automatically repair any unit or any building in like where it stood. Obviously it'll walk around. I mean, it's a lifesaver. And the medic for the GDF does this as well automatically to heal troops. I mean, again, that's been a lifesaver instead of trying to manually get like the rigs. I know there's like a repair units in the Dynasty, the repair trucks, but again, to have it's handy to have a little small army and have a couple of medics, or if you just Dynasty, some engineers just to repair. Because again, pull your tanks back, let them heal, power back through. It's great. Another great thing is you can queue up multiple builds at once. Yes, so both factions handle differently. With GDF, you can. As long as you got money in your account, so you can pencil down like file, as much builds as you want, and it'll build it in whatever order you set it as. It will build an order. So as soon as it's built, boom, that gets built. But with the Dynasty, you kind of had to wait, obviously, one at a time to build. But again, you can still queue up. So as soon as it's built, boom, it'll automatically build, and plug. So you have to go, back and forth. Not as much, obviously. GDF is very little because everything's done, but yeah. For the harvesters, the Dynasty is my favourite, because you need to. I know initially you need to build a vehicle factory, which does take time, but these harvesters are mobile. Like the whole thing's mobile, so you can drive them put them anywhere on the map, and they'll spawn 4 mini collectors when they're stationary. You run out of Tempest, or Tempest is too far away now, just escort them to another field. If needs be. And the GDF has a classic way of doing it, where you build a refinery, one pops out. But again, they are very clever, which I like, because unlike Command & Conquer, we have a couple, they'll just stay in one pot by default until you got 10% whatever grows back. These will instantly, as soon as the field has ran out, it's going to go, oh, this field's ran out, straight into another one, boom. And then if it grows some back, it'll try and grab it. try and drive it in again. It's constantly instead of fucking around waiting for something to grow, it will move to a different field. For again, Dynasty, I love flame tanks, and my favorite combo is flame tanks, flamer dudes, sniper dudes with obviously some engineers, because the sniper is an anti-material rifle guy. You can only have a couple at a time, because what they have done is with some units are like special, or what they're called, and to avoid help balancing, you can't have all these overkill units at once. Like you can't have like a million snipers, you have like 2 or 3 at once, out the whole lot. So it stops people from having all overpowerful units. You have like a couple at a time, and then if they die, just get them back. Which again, it's good. Now, again, it's a hit and miss for me. For the GDF side, for some units, again, they're very special, limited, but you have to collect intel. Now, I didn't realize this, but yeah, to collect intel, you have to. Certain units can like mark up enemy units. So when you mark them up, you don't do damage, but your other will do damage, and you get a kill and you get intel. So you can certain units, you need intel as well as money, and so if not intel, you can't build it. Which is a yeah, I mean, I love DDF, I love the units, but again, like the drones operators are nuts. I mean, I think they've balanced them out a bit more, the drone operators, but they have like rocket launchers on them, very powerful. So, but with that, each special building has, well, most buildings will have an upgrade perk. So an example is the Dynasty have the barracks upgrade, which will heal units in a small area. There's no medic on the Dynasty side, so you need to get that. But there is a perk you can buy, and then a special weapon thing that will spawn a medic. Very expensive, but again, a heal. And the refineries have, for GDF, they're a clever one. Like each refinery, they will develop money over time, so that can come in handy. So you have just build like 5 or 6 of them, and they'll slowly get money back. It's great. Now, I've seen some comments. People obviously, I do read comments, and I read. Obviously, I take time to read what people like, people don't like. But a chunk of people are saying now, like it's basically just build a huge army, instantly win, just rush tactics, and it annoys them. But that's the thing, isn't all strategy games are like that? You build a big fucking army and you steamroll your way in, take it out. But I mean, like for me, the real one for me is have multiple armies, some to flank, some to hold, and some to take out, and some to be bait. So you can try and keep them on the move. And then if you captain hold areas, like because there's like certain areas will have like money generator thing, repair, and like garrisons and stuff like that. So it's and radar stations. So if you captain them areas and hold them, you've got more ground to cover. So with that, you know, it's all about who's playing it ideally, because you can just go full bulldozer, but again, you can build, you can land grab, you can build. Basically, whoever controls the Tempest fields, whoever controls the income will win. You know, because the income's always going. As soon as the income stops, you're fooked. So, but with the game modes as well, for skirmishes, there's 3 modes: take out the construction yard to win, take out all the buildings, or take out everything. Which reminds me of Supreme Commander, where they have that we can take out the commander units or whatever, and boom, gone. But we don't have 20 times 20 kilometer style maps, which I'm kind of glad. But it'd be good if we have some more large maps. I do love the large maps, because I think a lot of us are, like 4. If we try and get 4v4, that'd be great. Because I think we are only still on 2v2s. I think so anyway, if I remember right. So, another weird one for you is the game has aircraft, like helicopters and cargo helicopter things, but there's actual no jets. I mean, some do appear in some cutscenes of the campaigns. And also, I know you can get an airstrike on both sides and like aid packages, but there's no jets. We have, that's a weird one. You just can't build jets up. So will we see jets in the future for a perk? I don't know. I mean, it'd be good to have jets because I know helicopters and that helicopters are great. But you have some jets that you can just send to recon that can automatically bomb stuff. That'd be good. And another major thing is the lack of super weapons. Again, you have two nukes per nuke for a campaign, but there's no super weapon. But honestly, I don't feel it's mega missed. But there have been some cases where I do need it for, like, if I could try and overwhelm or win or delay some time, because it could be good. But I said it can all say about small size, but End War had this. Tom Clancy's End War had a similar thing where they have a nuke option if you're losing side. Again, they're small, average sized maps, but you're limited with the unit. So they could put super weapons in the future. So with that, to start wrapping stuff off, like I said, the cutscenes are truly remarkable. They're so crisp, they're so clean, so highly detailed, and I feel like they should be able to they should focus on making a short film for the Tempest Rising, because like a 20-minute, half-an-hour film, because even that would be fucking great for lore and stuff like that. And what I do like though as well is in a lot of missions, you can ask set questions. I mean, I know the set questions, but you can ask questions, so it kind of feels like a more personal thing. And when you first start playing a game, they will kind of release some intel of information on the map on what you can to expect. So it's always wise to select all of them and see, and they'll tell you some lore about bits and bobs as well. And with this as well, with the campaign for both sides, by completing missions, completing these side missions, you unlock money points, which points mean prizes, which means I think there's up to, it's 12 or 16 points in total you can use, where this will unlock stuff like you have better damage, better defense, some mega buffs basically, or you can have like blueprints from the other faction. Like if you're Dynasty, you can unlock some GDF blueprints, which obviously get like riot vans and stuff like that, and vice versa. So again, that's good, but some perks take up spots. Some perks take up 1, some perks take up to 4 spots or 3 spots, so choose wisely. But with this and the skirmish battles, the perks are there on the side. Again, you can't have all of them unlocked. I think you have like 70 or 80% of them unlocked at once, but again, they're beneficial to have, but you gotta be careful because they do cost money, so you choose wisely on what works and what doesn't work. There's bound to be more details that I've missed, and there's gonna be a load to be found or missed, but I can see, as hopefully you can see, Tempest Rising has been a game worth the wait and worth the price. I'm pretty sure I've done this review and it's on offer, but again, if you're you're a bit like me, type for cash and around again, just get it on sale. Just get the game when you can, because again, it's great. I am looking forward to see what happens to this game. Like I'm really hoping again there's DLC packs for the campaign, or like some DLC packs like for new maps and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind paying towards just to support the developers for it, because again, it's just a lot of effort put into this game. It's not a AAA game. It's by a small team, and to manage to make something that with all the bugs and all the stuff, it's a beautiful game. And with this now, I keep forgetting to do so, but I need to put ratings in the games, in the game reviews. So this is going to be the official first one I put a rating in, and I'm going to give a solid 9 out of 10. Yes, there's some little snags, but overall the story, the graphics, the soundtrack, and the gameplay, incredible. Absolutely incredible. So thank you to Silkgate Ironworks, 3D Realms, and Night Peaks for helping them make this game. Thank you. So again, if you enjoyed hearing this review or enjoying my channel Absolute Nonsense, then subscribe or like or something. I said I have too many videos on this channel from like game stories that I'm playing at the moment and that stuff. So, but again, thank you much for taking your time for listening to some man ramble absolute nonsense for probably a half an hour. So end it at that. If in doubt, spaghetti hoops it out, or don't do it. I don't know. I'm not the boss. I'm just some guy just saying random stuff. So, spaghetti hoops.
And understood. Solid copy. You got it.
Unit ready.
Roger. I'll check it out. Understood.
Unit ready.
Roger. Getting into position. You got it.
Unit ready.
Solid copy. Understood.
Unit ready.
Weather ready for
Training.
Where's the fire? Gunship airborne. Getting into position.
Unit ready.
Targeting enemy.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.